Grief Talk with Von Solis, The Clips. Stagnation can feel like a lot of different things, but in my view, it feels mostly like you're just absolutely out of balance and trapped. What would you say stagnation feels like for you?
It's stagnation is not something I'm really accustomed to because I change so much.
Okay. Okay.
Because when I start noticing it, like the feeling of stagnation for me is being stuck in a rut, being
Hmm.
stuck in a disempowered place
Hmm.
where I feel like I don't have choice. And I think because for so many years I've really worked on this, stagnation is not a possibility that I create in my life. So I feel it and I notice, I look within right away because it's not a very good place to be. And I think it becomes a very bad habit. And people spend most of their lives in bad habits. And then when they wake up, when they're sick, when they're dying, when they've had a major life trauma happen to them, you know, like they wonder what happened to my life.
Yeah, and I'll jump in there. So when I experience stagnation, it probably is not exactly the right word to use for my experience with it, but a lot of it I'll speak to very quickly here for again the grieving community. I think we do get stagnated in, if that's a word, I think it is. But anyway, we feel stagnation in our grief. So I'll speak to it from more mental and emotional stagnation, where there's these feelings of pain, of hurt, of frustration, of hopelessness. Those are the types of things I sort of work in, and how to unstick our mind from the trappings of what has happened to us that has been so horrific or painful, you think nobody else could ever relate to it or understand it. So I actually applaud you, Tina, for being very, and I mean that with respect, like for listening to the body, being aware of your body, being brave enough and courageous enough to go, you know what, I'm out of balance. I've got to change this, because it's key to moving forward. But again, I do want to remind viewers, listeners, Tina spoke about the fact her marriage didn't end in one day. It took tries and years and thoughtful decision making when you finally parted, and you parted in love, it sounds like, as you say, and trusting that the future is going to unfold for you the way it needs to unfold. But on that note, I just want to ask you, did it require a lot of trust for you with this final parting? We'll just say final parting, that your future was going to unfold the way you envisioned it? And what do you do to keep the trust?
Man, I love these questions that you're asking because they're so incredible and so deep. Because I think it's all about trust. And one of the things that I didn't do for many years was trust that, whatever you believe in, God, the universe, source, whatever people say, I believe that if I'm on a path and it seems clear, chances are it's not my path. And I trust that when things happen, and I said this before, but I'll say it again, that they're not happening to me. They're always happening for me. There's a lesson that I'm learning that I need, because I've seen it over and over and over again. Anything that's been traumatic or hard, it's always come around to be a blessing in my life.